Okay, Commissioners, the next item is item number 14, application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Manhattan. It's 311 West 4th Street, located within the Greenwich Village Historic District. It's docket number 165836. This is a Greek Revival-style row house built in 1836. The application is to construct rooftop additions and modify a rear yard addition.
Preservation staff. The application before you is 311 West 4th Street, which is located between Bank Street and West 12th Street in the Greenwich Village Historic District. This application has numerous components. The first is to construct a one-story rooftop addition, set back approximately 20 feet from the front facade, with railings set back approximately 4 feet from the primary elevation. The proposed steel cable railing is visible from an oblique angle on West 4th Street towards Bank. The proposed addition is also visible here, obliquely from the south, and the proposed chimney extensions are visible from the north. There we go. Here. At the non-visible rear of the roof, the applicant is proposing to install a metal pergola that will be set just inside the rear parapet. The work also includes the removal of a modern two-story addition and the construction of a one-story addition featuring an open metal trellis and a terrace above. Finally, the applicant is proposing to lower the grade within the rear yard. The architect Bastian Hellard of Hellard Architecture and Design is here to discuss the proposal.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bastien Hellard, president of Hellard Design. We are the design architects on this project. So 311 West 4th Street is located between West 12th Street and Bank Street. Originally constructed, the east side of the street was originally constructed in 1836 as a development project in a Greek Revival style. Here, as Michel explained, we are proposing a new access to the roof and the reallocation of floor area from the first floor to the roof. This project does not increase the floor area. So on this, here you see two tax photos, the minimal visibility of the extension as well as the railing at front. I'm going to start today. I heard you were a little late on this. Here, front facade. All the buildings on the street used to be 2.5-story buildings. Our building was extended in 1870s to a full third floor. Here's the front elevation. We are proposing to restore entirely the front facade to match the existing original condition. And here's a proposed extension and roof set back 20 feet from the front. Next, the front facade is being restored, as I explained. The only alteration we would like to propose is to paint the original door, which is now white, into a dark, very dark blue, pretty much black. Existing windows we replaced with new to match existing. here we have a map of the block, which basically represents all the roof additions as a typical on that block. Please note that many of these additions are built as what we will call the sort of artist studio roof additions. Page 9 shows the existing modern addition, a two-story addition with a spiral staircase going at the back. Also note that both either sides buildings are proposing new additions. This is the existing and the proposed. My design intent there is to propose a very minimal extension livable extension at ground floor and a pergola on the first floor. What we're doing, the reason why I do so is to sort of enhance the original rear facade, bring it back to its natural original state, and really sort of contrast the proposed new design with the modern obvious design with the original historic background. These are all reports done by Jablonski, which states that none of it is, none of the rear yard two-story extension is original. On this one, please note, we have those two party walls on other side that are facing the gardens. They are about 1.5 feet wide, and we propose to remove them. They are modern walls, not historic. The historic walls are the extension, are the side party walls, which we propose to keep the need to lower on the first floor or back to parapet height for DOB requirements. Again, so you will see on the facade, here's an existing door that we propose to reinstate back into a window. We will be reusing historic bricks to fill in the gap. On this, behind this basically, is now a large opening. We are proposing to sort of reveal this facade and infill with historic bricks and install a new window door to match the three others and to match the sort of the language of the windows above. Again, rendering of the rare proposed additions. One is the pergola and enclosed area, the ground floor, and above is pergola linked to the artist addition, roof addition, that sort of is in line with the modern addition below. Note we will need guardrail, especially at back, and also here and here. These guardrails are designed to match an existing condition which is located at the corner of West 4th and Bank Street. It's a modern guardrail, very minimal. It's 3/4 of an inch rod with 1/4 of an inch steel cables. Here's the roof additions, again design as you can see here, and with this slanted roof to recall this artist studios. Also note that both neighboring buildings have additions, and this one have similar windows to the one we're proposing, so the big artist windows.
Okay.
The existing condition, so here we will be excavating a part of this at garden, removing the stair, removing this floor area and bringing it up to the roof. Proposed. So this is the excavated part to the rear. Also please note the cellar we are proposing to excavate about 2 feet the cellar. We will not be required to do any underpinning. We will create what we call shells. So we don't have to underpin. The design is developed by Robert Tillman.
And you'll be working with the
Robert
buildings
Tillman.
department and the buildings department when you, if
Yes,
this is
yeah,
approved.
we
I'm
went
sorry.
through this one.
Okay. All right.
Go.
Yes. No, question. No, why don't we just take some questions? Yes.
Just on 15, sheet 15, what of that is visible from the, or another, what is visible maybe from the front elevation? What I'm interested in
So,
is, what,
here, what
It's,
is
I think it's the railing that's.
minimally visible
right.
is the railing here. And you will see a tiny bit, because here, let me go back to the section
that's what I'm looking
here. This is basically head height roof access that I have here.
Uh-huh.
And so on one visual, you will see about that much of it, which we go back to.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what we're seeing when we see the,
Is this guy here.
mhm. Okay. Thank you.
So that's about it. And then the guardrails are always less than a foot.
And can you just go to page 21? Oh, that's coming up. Okay. The next. Oh, yeah. This one, the one before this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the bottom right. So in that piece that we're seeing, is that also the railing, or is
That
that?
is the railing only. The only one you will see is this one here.
Yeah.
This is the roof, the stairwell, sorry. Bulkhead, basically. Yes, thank you. The stairwell bulkhead. I've
Yeah,
showed
this
you the
looked
one
like
in the
a lot,
previous
but-
picture, because actually you could see it more on the
Just the
previous
railing.
picture than this one.
That's okay.
Okay. Other questions? All right, we're going to take testimony. Barbara Zay?
Thank you.
Barbara Zay of the Historic Districts Council. While HDC found the proposed rear addition to be somewhat unusual, we did appreciate the fact that the structure will allow for visibility of the newly restored rear facade. Our committee thought that the rooftop addition would be more visible, I think, than it is, because the testimony was asking to further consider the interior plan in order to avoid any visible bulk on the roof and the corresponding extension of the chimney. I don't recall hearing that in the presentation just now about the chimney being extended, but we want to make sure that that doesn't get extended too much higher.
Okay. Are there any more speakers? All right, Community Board 2 submits their resolution, recommends approval of the application with the exception that the front roof railing should be nearly visible or contextual to the building.
They saw a different railing.
Okay, so it was different, so now, in fact, this is in response to the Community Board. Okay. All right, are there other questions for the applicant? Okay, there are no other questions. Yes, Adi?
The pergola is enclosed, right?
No.
No, so it's all completely open and, sorry? I mean, I know that, so ultimately it'll be covered in whatever green is starting to grow on top, okay.
But anyway.
They'll make sure there are no birds.
Squirrels, yeah, right.
Right. Okay, if there are no other questions for the applicant, we can close the hearing. Can move to discussion. There's comments? I'm fine.
You know what you're growing there? What are you growing?
We've
Wisteria.
There,
We
oh,
close
well,
the hearing
that'll
when
cover it,
I'm
that'll
sorry,
cover
close
it.
the hearing, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
okay. All right. So I think the fact that they've addressed the community board's concern of the most visual piece and made the railing much more transparent is, I think, goes a long way. And I don't really have any concerns or issues with this.
I think the extension on the back is fascinating because, you know, it goes the opposite direction of what we see all the time, which is an increase in masonry and bulk, and instead it actually revives the rear facade of the building. You get to see it, and it's terrific.
Yeah, I thought it was great that it's removing the T-porch this time and creating but an open, a totally open porch sort of situation. So it's an open air, very nice.
It's very nice. Beautiful. Okay, we can move to decision. Chris, do you want to read that?
Sure. To the matter of 311 West 4th Street, Greenwich Village Historic District, application is to construct rooftop additions and modify a rear yard addition. Noting that the style, scale, materials, and details of the building are among the features which contribute to the special architectural and historical character of the Greenwich Village Historic District, I recommend approval, finding that the building has no significant architectural features which would be lost or damaged by the construction of the proposed rooftop addition, that the rooftop addition will not be visible over the primary facade, but will be from locations along the bank and West 4th Street above the adjacent primary elevations, that the proposed railings will be visible over the front facade from locations along West 4th and Bank Streets. However, they are simple and utilitarian in design and will blend with the roofscape, that there are other rooftop additions within the row and block, and a modestly scaled addition would be consistent with the varied roofscape, that the rooftop addition will be set back from the rear facade to align with an existing adjacent rooftop addition, and that while the pergola will sit on the rear parapet, its open character will preserve a sense of the building's original scale and volume and its relationship to the row, that the proposed work at the rear facade will not be visible from a public thoroughfare, that although the existing rear addition may contain elements of an historic T-porch, it has been extensively altered, and therefore its removal will not result in destruction of significant historic fabric, that the scale of the proposed rear yard addition will not overwhelm the building and will retain the scale and character of the building as an individual row house, that the building already features a two-story full-width modern extension, therefore the proposal to reduce the height of the two-story addition to one story plus an open pergola on the same footprint will not overwhelm the building or adjacent buildings, that the rear of this building is surrounded on two sides by a similar height addition to the north and a larger addition to the south, therefore the proposed addition will not overwhelm adjacent buildings, and that the grade of the rear yards of adjacent buildings is consistent with the proposed grade of the partially excavated rear yard.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this application is approved.